But our system gonna make more sense than theirs. See, that's why I say it's gonna go along with theirs because we ain't gonna be able to just kick the shit that we've been born into. We ain't gonna be able to just kick it. But there you go. We can slide that shit to the side and listen to some shit that makes sense for a change. But that's the change that's about to happen. And I don't give a lovely fuck. Motherfuckers don't think they can't handle it. See, the truth gonna make you. Make you or break you. I'm trying to tell you. This make believe bullshit about to hit the fucking fan. But all motherfucking believers gonna get shit all over their ass. Because they're gonna realize they've been lied to finally. Because now the truth gonna kick in with fucking common sense. Kick this right in your ass. Bam! Oh shit! Oh, I'm awake now. Yeah, you awake now, motherfucker. But you ain't got no other choice. Because shit you got just that bad. And she don't want to be like that. That's why I wanted to be that smooth transition like right now that's happening. And if Donald Trump wouldn't have been going all the way over these countries and fucking with these other people, folks, that nuclear war, we was coming close to that shit there, because you looting Yahoo bitch ass. He wanted to keep on bombing them fucking people, and them people couldn't take his bombing, so they were going to go to what? Any means necessary. Blow him up, and then after that death, you know how they're going to do that death. If I'm going to die, I might as well take the world with me. That's how I'm going to fucking be thankful. Well, believe, because they think they can go to Akbar and get 30 virgins and shit. Those that believe shit got motherfuckers stuck on got stuck on so fucking far past stupid to the point they can't see straight because they believe into the lie, not even knowing they're lying. So who? They self, and you can't do that. You can't lie to yourself. You're going against the grain. That's the reason why shit is so fucking far out of order. Because motherfuckers ain't thinking. They believe they can be anything. Bitch, you born with a penis report. Born for parents yourself. Anything twist you up is either your water, your shit you eating, or the shit that is in your mouth, body, and shit. Have your ass. Because you would think that if your daddy was gay, he ain't shooting no friend of a woman. Shit. And again, how you got gay? Something must have changed this monkey ass. And shit. So I say again, these people fucking us up through the water, the air, and the food. Make us into a fucking stupid food. Like it is into being. And you can't tell me I'm lying. Because I'm not. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. They have to make us into their food in order to make us willing participants in our own slavery. That's exactly what's happening right now. People don't even know they're lazy. Because they're going to work every day. Yeah, they pay the motherfucking bill. Don't go your ass to work and see what happens. You see what I'm saying? They program this shit for real. Real well, too. I'm glad you feel good in yourself, though. How you supposed to be? Supposed to let the weight of the world weigh you down when you know that you where you're supposed to be. That's when you got peace within your mind. All I can say is, it is what it is. Don't nobody really want to worry about other people like what you do in relationships. You don't. But you still want to, worry about, friends and stuff like that. That it is what it is. But see, that relationship shit puts too much fucking pressure on your brain. Especially if you don't know what the other person is thinking. They ain't on the same way when you are. It is what it is. So we just gotta know that we ain't no kids. keep acting like children. The children believe shit. This was shit. But come up from adults who never taught them that bullshit in the first place. That they think that thought all this shit together. And them motherfuckers knew exactly what they were doing. They wouldn't have been able to put it together for it to stay together this long. It's crumbling now. But like I said, common sense is about to take back control. So right now, we just fucking following orders and going along to get along and not asking no questions. Oh no, that time is over. See, in the hour of see if it makes sense, but it don't, because it don't make sense, you don't ask questions. And just going along to get along. You ain't doing that. You know now you're more responsible when you think. You ain't got no responsibility in believing shit. You ain't got no responsibility in understanding shit. You ain't got no responsibility in have faith or hope and trust in shit. But if you have a lot of responsibility, you need to know some shit. You need to find this stuff. That nigga like broken fucking record. Yeah, because I want you to get the record. Great. Good. If you are it. Mother Nature. Why do you think them women be envying you? Want to be you? Because they want that life that you are and they are not, but they are too. But they're too selfish with themselves because they always got some type of agenda against you. And it's like, why? Give us a reason. What she got that you don't? No. See? She got more happiness than you do. That's why they always mad. But to reach you, all you gotta do is get all the way back and get back to order. Because you ain't nothing but love in the industry. You love you. You love hope. You just wish a man could love you like you would love him if there was to do it right there too. Yeah. But I just try to tell you something. That's you started something different. You that you the love that you are 100%. And let them fuck with your percentage. So you can use your hand. Start falling down the 50. Boy, I about to say, boy, I thought I was on there with you for a second after the phone just lit up white. I was like, oh, she been going on a long time? So I thought you were calling back. When you thinking, do you see yourself? I said, when you thinking, do you see yourself? When you when you're thinking about all the different things that could and you could feel like should have been, do you see yourself improving yourself? Because what's happening right now is what it is. And right now, if you're thinking of you, why you thinking of anything else? But you just gotta know that the truth is in you, so you couldn't get confused with what could happen and what's happening right now. Okay? But just like with telling people on the North Pole, bullshit. Shit. All this you talking about is bullshit about what's happening with God and you, bullshit and Noah's Ark and all. Let's talk about what's happening now, what we can do right now, things right now. I just don't do that. Why? I just don't get it. Why people want to stay in the past and give you no good look on the future? We all creating this reality together. I would not be able to get it together. Shit. But I'm sorry, but it didn't make any sense to you what I said. It's 8:30, huh? 8:30 by you. What you ate, young lady? Huh? Say that again? Chili?
It's go. Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy on the left. You know what's interesting? They keep telling us that Donald Trump is doing so well, but it seems as though Donald Trump is actually doing so well that his most vehement of critics can't even seem to criticize him anymore. The worst first 100 days of any president ever. That was last week's narrative, and this week, everywhere I look, now, it's maybe not on MSNBC and other places, but the people on the left who are at least semi-credible, every single one of them seems to have gone from the worst president ever in the first 100 days to, oh, actually, not that bad. Even when trying to criticize him, it seems as the conversation naturally flows, they're finding less and less to poke holes in. In this case, we've got Bill Maher seemingly battling with his own Trump derangement syndrome as he tries to poke holes in Trump doctrine, the foreign policy doctrine. And then he just ends up giving Donald Trump a whole bunch of credit. Donald Trump's success is becoming more and more undeniable, it seems. That's the story. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this moment from Bill Maher's show, which I think perfectly is capturing the shift. We've got Bill Maher, who's usually the Donald Trump can do no good kind of guy, well, really changing his tone these days.
Now we have the Trump doctrine, which is, I think, as much of a departure as any doctrine a president has ever promulgated, because what he is saying is consistent. The so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built. Interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand. This is something people on the left said about Vietnam. Societies people did not even understand. He said it about Iraq. What are we doing here? What Trump is basically saying, we don't give a shit about what your morality is. It's a hard one for people on the left to argue with, because they're the ones who say America's so evil. His doctrine is basically, you do you. We all love money, and we're not going to lecture you anymore of some world war. We all have our second pillow. That's his doctrine.
I talked to someone in the Trump administration yesterday about all this, and they said literally what you just said. They said, quote, Trump isn't going over there to lecture, he's going over there to do deals. The person described it fully as realism, he's transactional, that's who he is. And so, and again, maybe that the American people decide that do care about abandoning the traditional morality of the United States, exporting our values overseas in service of good outcomes. It's a very interesting question.
The other way didn't really work. I mean, planting democracy. The Middle East was really, they gave a lot of.
You need a businessman to run your business. Never hire a legal line lawyer. Because they know the loopholes to jump through, and they get caught stealing your money because these liars know the law.
I was saying all the time, but Thomas Friedman would say it for them. We need to plant a democracy in the heart of the Arab world. And it didn't work. Because, you know what, you got to get rid of the religion. And that's not going to happen in our lifetimes before you can get to democracy. They don't care about the same thing.
We've always been war and peace. I think Trump is changing to peace and war. He talks about peace more than he talks about war. He's still hawking up to bomb people that need to be bombed, like the Houthi rebels. But I get the feeling he's responding to all these new inflows of constituents of the Republican Party. Maybe they were Democrats before, maybe they weren't even political before, but they would much rather hear an American president talk about peace.
It's a full-on paradigm shift, and even the biggest haters can hate it. And that's probably because for the first time, I'd say in decades, we're thinking logically instead of thinking emotionally. For the last, let's call it 40 or 50 years, the default position has been that we intervene first and ask questions later. We're in the business of destroying democracy, toppling dictators, bomb it all to smithereens, and then send Malibu, build it back up, our puppet leader in place. That obviously is always known as the deal. Well, the question that's continued to come up is especially in the post-2008 era, is why. Are we accomplishing anything with this? Are we actually doing the things that we're setting out? You know, the slogan is nice, exporting democracy, but are we actually? Well, the answer, I'd say, is unequivocally no.
For people with severe back pain who didn't find relief with medications, injections, or back surgery,
Shut up.
What exactly did we get? What did we accomplish in Iraq, Libya, Syria, and Afghanistan? Nothing. An entire region in chaos. Trillions of dollars in debt, and certainly no goodwill to show for it. It's not a bit of democracy. Thriving Middle East benefits the whole world. We've created resentment, hatred, distrust to some people. And so Trump is coming in after decades of this foreign policy approach, actually doing a lot of the things that people on the classical left side have historically advocated for. Donald Trump is saying enough. You know, no longer do we need war. We need peace. Show strength. Apply pressure. Use our leverage. Let deals. Only use force when it's absolutely necessary. And while the deal making can tell you it's weakness, my response would be, I don't think that's weakness. I think that's sanity finally taking over again. You know, it's got me thinking about gang violence. You hear this all the time, right? The way a gang war starts is one person shoots another person, and it creates a snowball effect where there's this endless cycle of revenge and vengeance. Don't you think it's the exact same thing on a foreign policy level between nations? This constant tit for tat, tit for tat. Well, the question is, when's it going to end? Well, it's going to end when one person comes in and says, enough is enough. I don't care about the past. I care about the future. We got to put an end to the violence. But then I hear the suggestion that if we do this, if we just accept the wrongs, then what do we stand for? We stand for nothing. What are we saying? That we just want money? It's just all about the vengeance. We can look the other way as long as we're meditating.
What we're gonna do? Perpetuate the circle, keep going around and around and around, keep fighting, keep killing? What makes sense?
Gilmar and his other guests seem to be implying that. At one point, Gilmar's guest said this:
do we care about abandoning the traditional morality of the United States, exporting our values overseas in service of good outcomes?
Do we just abandon exporting our values overseas? That's what he said, right? Which to me signals you really don't get it. Because exporting American values is actually exactly what Donald Trump is doing. The idea that these concepts are mutually exclusive is ridiculous. And clearly the last 40, 50 years of foreign conflict and attempting regime changes hasn't worked. Well, maybe this is a better strategy. This idea that Donald Trump doesn't care about what you do as long as you're up for business, I think is totally wrong. It's misrepresenting the entire purpose of this trip. Donald Trump seems to be forging relationships, even with foreign leaders who have sketchy past, probably putting an extra emphasis and importance on those leaders, because this puts him in the best position to get these people to come over to our side and start seeing things maybe a little more clearly. There's obviously so much more to the Trump trip than just money and big investments. It's about normalizing relations where we can deal in business and also deal diplomatically. I mean, what is the best strategy for conflict resolution? Again, it's stuff that you learn when you're in kindergarten. It certainly isn't violence. It's speech. You know, it sounds dumb. It sounds juvenile, but it's true. And at the end of the day, that's the way that I think about things. With these large issues, these complex systems, what's going on, and always just boil it down to the simplest form. It's the best way to solve a problem. And engineering works the same way. You're trying to build a massive structure. You want to know how the dynamics work, how to make the most stable structure. Well, then you should use smaller model of it. Figure out the little intricacies, the little nuances, study it, do the math. Then you can scale it up to its full enormous size. It's the exact same thing when it comes to complex foreign policy and dealing in politics. You know, the academics of the world will make you think that everything is so complicated, but it's really not. It's deal making. It's interpersonal relationships. Literally, just boil it down to the simplest concepts. We want certain regions to adopt some of our values. We want them to listen to us in the first place, but we at least have to have a basic relationship, mutual respect, to even begin. And it's funny because these people spent years trying to paint Donald Trump as an unhinged maniac, a dangerous populist who's going to lead us into World War III. I mean, Bill Maher so many times has essentially claimed that Donald Trump is a maniac, lunatic, crazy person, and yet here we are. They're struggling to keep it together as they realize the fallacies they've been dealing and peddling. I guess Trump ain't that bad after all. I guess he's not some maniacal evil villain as they suggested for so many years. And even Trump deranged Bill Maher is struggling to sell that fantasy these days. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all